What's up, Swolgers? Thanks for joining me on this video today, where I'm going to break down a very important subject, and that is F your competition, but love and respect them. So this is something that's really been on my mind a lot over the last couple of days, and it's a trap that I personally have fallen into, and it's important for you to do your best as a strength athlete to really understand what we're dealing with when we are competing against other people. So naturally, of course, competition is inherently a good thing. Having other people to go head to head against is going to make us push harder, do better, and perform at a level higher than we were capable of originally. That's what we're trying to do as strength athletes, is get better and stronger and just overall more successful. But that's really all just happening on game day. What I'm talking about in this circumstance is leading into the competition. Do not fall for the trap of looking at your other competitors' Instagrams and seeing their lists and getting any sort of preconceived notion in your head about anything. Okay? So when I first really got back into strongman, I fell for this. Okay? I was looking online, and I was seeing, oh, my strength is better than some of these people in the gym. I had a very high deadlift. I had a high bench. That doesn't correlate whatsoever to strongman, but I was just considering, oh, my strength numbers are pretty good. Look at some of these other guys. I probably am going to take them down. Wrong. We had things like a block carry and a Husafel carry. And despite maybe having some higher gym lifts, because these people were so technically savvy and knew how to handle themselves on the game day, they just wiped me, like totally kicked my butt at this competition. So I really learned that day that that was just a mistake. I came in with a really big ego about myself, and I learned at that moment I wasn't so good. So back to the drawing board. But this is really important because you need to make sure you're conserving your energy and putting it only into the things that you can control. Because if you're scouting your other competitors in the days or the weeks or the months leading up to your competition, there's really a lot of things happening that you need to consider. First, you're only really seeing their highlights. It's very rare that somebody is going to regularly post their lowlights on social media or even just tell you about them if you're messaging them back and forth. If they're going to share a lowlight, it's usually one or two and not like the whole laundry list, okay? So that's really important to remember, is you're only seeing usually what those people are really good at and not what they're struggling with. So there could be 10 things on that list that they're not good at that you don't see, and you're only seeing the 3 things that they're tremendous at. So if you're letting that get into your head that like, oh, this person's so strong and so quick and so fast, you really don't have any idea the full picture of who that athlete is. So just kind of wrong from the start. Next is, let's say this person, 10 out of 10 gym athlete. They've been doing strongman a long time. They know what they're doing. They could come in and completely screw up their water cut. This happens all the time. So even if you are correct in your assessment that, wow, this guy's a total pro, he is killing every single lift, he's doing way higher weights, way more reps, way faster on everything than me, they still could completely botch this water cut and have a horrible performance going into competition. So then if that happens, what's going to happen game day? You would be looking around and say, well, wow, I shouldn't have wasted any time because that guy totally screwed it up, right? Same if that person is just a nervous wreck. There's a lot of people that get really, really big nerves, even though they're tremendous athletes, and this throws them totally off their abilities, right? Same with bad nutrition. I've known some people who are pretty good strength athletes that were eating concession stand food the day before OSG. This person in particular that I'm thinking of had a horrible water cut, only post their highlights, had horrible nutrition. This is just shocking to me why anybody would do this, but eating from the concession stands the day before a competition when you have no idea where that food is coming from, you don't know what kind of state it's going to mesh and gel with your body at that moment in time. Absolute amateur hour, okay? Now, not that I was comparing myself to this person, but I'm observant and I just like to see what's going on. But what those people are doing does not affect my performance. That's the whole point of all of this, is however these people do, doesn't change the work that you're doing day in and day out, right? It does not matter. It does not matter. You are your own individual with your own strengths and weaknesses. And the whole point of all of this is to continually grow and get better and get stronger. One event does not define who we are as strength athletes or people or anything else. So if you're just worrying about who you're going to go up against on the day of a competition, you're costing yourself placings and positionings by wasting mental energy that could be going into more important things. Like, what are some, drills or technical cues that I should focus on today? What food choices should I make? Should I be getting extra steps? Do I need to be going to sleep a little bit earlier? Do I need to get the fuck off my phone and meditate and clear my mind so I can focus on all those other things? It's just wasted energy. So more things we have to think about is, forgetting all of this, let's say it's an amazing athlete. What if this person shows up, has all the attributes, they're feeling amazing, and then they just make mistakes over and over and over again, right? So then again, it would not be worth worrying about whatsoever. I want you to think of the flip side of these things for you as I am talking about them. What are the things we can do to be successful in ourselves and in our performance at a competition? So just kind of running through, I guess, you could say, own your lowlights, celebrate your highlights, but be in touch with what you really need to work on. Are you doing a water cut? You have to make sure that you're executing like an absolute professional. You should have some nerves going into a competition, manage them correctly, right? If you have bad nutrition going into a competition, there is nobody to blame but yourself. That's that, okay? Moving in, make sure you don't make mistakes. Make sure that you're not going in wrecked or messed up. This is going back to the point of, like, why would you ever worry about somebody else? You might not know that this person's actually been fighting an injury for some time. Or what if they get injured on the first event? Everything's going phenomenal. That person shows up and they're doing amazing, and then they twist their ankle and they can't do any more moving events or anything whatsoever. So just more reasons about why none of this matters. Fuck them. Like, they have no bearing on what you do in your own training and your own prep and your own performance. Moving on. Doing all of this stuff, if you have any sort of disconnection from reality or just sending thoughts out about other people whatsoever, this actually changes your self-image, whether you are thinking about your competition as better than you or worse than you, right? So we could either think that these people are up here, which, I understand you might say, oh, well, that's somebody I aspire to be like. You then are automatically setting yourself lower and thinking of yourself as less. When in reality, we are all very special. We all have our own journeys that we should be so proud of for all the progress we have made up to this point. Playing this comparison game does nobody any good, especially if you're looking at these people as weaker than you. It's just inflating your ego and giving yourself a sense of false bravado that's going to cost you and make you sloppy and make you just overlook the important things that you need to make sure that you are doing with your daily locked in regimented discipline. Okay. So just stay true to yourself and don't compare yourself to others. When this is all happening, what this is really about is obsessing over an outcome. A lot of people want to compare themselves to other people because they are obsessed with winning. They want to win. Who doesn't want to win? All right, we all do. That's why we do this, okay? But what's really important at the end of the day is that we did better. You might think of winning as finishing first on the podium, but as Nick Canby said in our Strongman Club call, he said, well, if you get second to last, but you PR'd in every single event, is that a loss? No, of course it's not. What you need to be focusing on is that sense of accomplishment and executing on every event wherever possible. You need to make sure that you are leaving that day better than who you were before you started it. If you can do that over and over and over again without obsessing over whether you're going to get a podium spot or not, that's actually what's going to get you to those routine, regular podium spots and high place finishes. It's just the mindset of I'm going to constantly progress and do better. However I finish, that's however I finish. That's actually what's going to get you up and up and up in placings in any sport, especially strongman. Okay? So just remember that your energy should only go towards doing your best. What this person's doing doesn't matter. What that person's doing doesn't matter. What you have control over is what you're doing every single day. Okay? I'm not trying to say that any of this is easy, but I am telling you that it's in your control. It's in your control to meal prep, go to bed on time, stay off doom scrolling your phone, right? Avoiding distraction. You have a choice. These are things that you can control. So control them. You can't control how this person is doing in their training. So don't even think about it. It does not affect you. And even then, on game day, not just leading up into prep, on game day, you should know your routines, your warm-up styles, your foods, the way that you want to handle this situation. Control them again and make sure that you're not over there worrying or thinking, oh, that person just tried that. Maybe I should try this. Not the time for that. But it's good to pay attention to some of those things and put it in your back pocket to try and training later down the line. Not to just say that we shouldn't be totally mindless and clueless. Like, we should be very aware and present and aware of our surroundings, but only centered in our place in them. So be observant of what's going on, but what is happening around you should not make you alter course. It should just be like driving down a road. You might see, trees and this and that, like all to the side, but just be aware that you need to stay in your lane to successfully complete your journey. It's not the time to try a detour or some new technique or anything like that. You have to trust your training and trust your own processes and just execute. Okay. So that is really what this is all about. I cannot stress this enough. And listen, I have done this too. So, I'm speaking to you from experience because it's really just been something that I wish I had learned faster, but sometimes experience is the best way to learn these things. That's how I learned it. So now through time and time and time again, like, I do like seeing what my other fellow competitors are doing, but just because I really love and respect them. I've made some really cool friends in strongman, but I'm never looking at any of these people thinking, oh, well, that guy's going to beat me, or, oh, I don't know about that one. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter whatsoever, because you could show up and have the best day of your entire life, and the best, strongest person in the whole entire world could have the worst day of their life. They could have food poisoning. They could have sprained their ankle, dislocated their knee the day before, and then you have a chance at slaying Goliath. So you're never going to know if that sort of situation is going to happen. So just thinking about anything that could happen about how they're doing versus you is totally worthless. All you can do is control the controllables, stay in your lane, practice that daily regimented discipline, detach from the outcome, and control the controllables. So I hope you found this important. This is something I just really have been thinking quite a lot about. So just be strong, focus on yourself, conserve your energy, and have a championship day.